We want to give a special shout out to the official jeweler of Mum Nation, Jewelry by Joseph. You can reach him at josephpizzo57@gmail.com and be sure to check out all of his posts featured on Mum Nation for 10% off of your order.
All right, we're back again at the Mummy Museum. This time we're ready for New Year's. We got confetti flying over here. We can call Brian to come sweep that up later. We got too much stuff to do over at the convention center, but we got a quick one today. We're here. We mean business today because we sat and we all watched the run through. We made notes. Billy actually, old school, still hard copy of notes. But the main reason we're here today is New Year's is in 2 days. It's the 30th right now. The brigades and the string bands are ready to go, but we watched the run through the other night of the Fancy Brigades at the convention center, and we have our rankings made 10-1, the whole gang. We did everything. So we're here to give our updated predictions because we did that in episode 1, but that was just based off theme. Now we have a little bit more to go off of. We had kind of some props that were maybe not done, but out there. We saw a drill, we heard music, didn't see any costumes, of course, not until New Year's, but we have our predictions made based off what we saw. So we're not here to hurt any feelings or ruffle any feathers. Maybe Billy is, but but we're just being honest and we're shooting straight and just, hey, what we saw, first reactions, right? Mine was first reaction pretty much, you know. I rewatched a little bit, but I didn't really retool anything. I kind of left it pretty much. You did a little bit. Cheater. But all right, so before we get into it, right, because I know you're probably all really anxious to see what the three of us think. We got to go over, we had the poll from the last episode.
Yeah.
So remind everybody what it was.
Yeah, last episode's poll was, which first prize Quaker City winter theme do you prefer? So we had There's No Business Like Snow Business from 1989, and then we had 2017's Winter is Coming. Now, this was actually pretty close for a while, but 1989 took the cake at 55%. And actually, a lot of you sounded off on Mum Nation and commented, and everyone else said 1989 when I last checked. So
it was probably at least on Mum Nation anyway, it was pretty unanimous. It was close on the Spotify poll, but Mum Nation, it was like everybody had the little snowflake for 1989. I want no hard feelings, even though I was in the 2017 one. It's all right. I agree. 89 was beautiful.
You in 89?
I was not in 89.
But did you pick 89?
No, I didn't. And honestly, the reason I did is because I got first prize with the 2017 one. So it's got like a little special.
Both really good.
They were both good. Yeah, I know some people don't think we should have won in 2017. Some people think.
Really?
Yeah, some people think Fralinger should have won that year. I don't. But here's the only reason I don't. I don't really care for like Wizard kind of theme, like Enchanted Forest.
I love
Wizard
Frozen themes still.
I do too. It's one of my favorite themes. So I'm a little biased on two.
And I'm an old school guy, so
yeah. And of course that poll segment is always brought to us by Jewelry by Joseph, the official jeweler sponsor of Mum Nation. So all right, this is how we're going to do it because I want to get into it and I want to get rolling on this because I am kind of excited to talk about these picks. All right. So this is how we're going to do it. We got a couple little things we did. We talked to some people at the convention center. We talked to Sal, who is, if you're familiar with the singer Deneen, who's been around for a long time. It's her son, little guy who's one of his first year. I think it's the second year, right? We sat down and got his thoughts on this coming year. We got some ticket information for you. But here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go backwards, 10-1, and we're going to start with the first grouping, which we're going to go 10th through 7th. All right, so we'll go right down the line. Billy,
of course, I go first.
And then he's got to go first. He's the icebreaker over here, the uniter.
The pisser off for a few minutes.
So we'll go 10, 9, 8, 7. We'll discuss a little bit, 10, 10, 10, and so on. And then we'll take a quick break. We'll get into it, but here we go. So Billy, kick it off. Number 10, what do you got?
Number 10, first of all, I don't think anybody was bad.
Agreed.
There is no bad shows, but I picked Cleveland 10, and it's just a numbers game. They were smaller, and that number 1 spot.
All right, so for me, I'm in the same camp. I got Cleveland 10th. It's not really a knock to them, no. Honestly. I kind of did the same thing. They're going first.
Yeah.
But again, I mean this. I didn't really think there was any bad shows. I did think they were very entertaining, and I really like what they based their show off of.
Mhm.
I won't say too much. If you didn't see the run through, that's your fault. Go to the parade. But I thought that they were good. I was stuck with them in that position.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately. But yeah, 10 Cleavemore for me.
Unfortunately, I have to agree, and it has nothing to do with them and their performance. It, unfortunately, just 10 has to get filled, right? But I really did like what they were doing with it. I grasped it. I think the judges would too, and it's artsy enough, I think, for the judges to appreciate it. And from some of the imagery I'm seeing, I feel like they're gonna pull it off well. And I feel like they take those like cuter themes. I think we talked about this the first episode, but they take those cuter themes and they really nail it because they're so animated for their group.
Yeah.
And honestly, the one thing I noticed, their choreography was so much better this year.
Agreed.
Yeah, they upped their game.
They really did. And I don't think the prize that I placed them in speaks to the captain's performance. I think Rocco, of course, he always does a great job,
Yeah, he steals
but
the show.
I think he's going to place really well, especially with the character that he's playing. If he has a nice costume on him, I think he's going to.
Yeah.
I think he might be right up in the mix for a really good captain's prize. But again, I was just really stuck on that. They're going first. There is a lot of good shows this year.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, with a tight number of clubs, somebody has to be in that 10 spot. And unless there's a tie for 9th, I guess that would be the only way there wasn't a 10. So it's tough. It's tough to rank that last spot, honestly. More so than it is to rank first.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But sorry, 9th. Let's move up.
I'm going with the Aveneurs. It's very dark, and again, it's a numbers game. They just didn't have the people that filled what the other 8 clubs did.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it was again just a numbers game, and I'm not a big fan of dark themes because there's a lot of really bright and vibrant themes up there, and they're off to the side a little bit.
So for me, I actually have the same. Aveneurs at 9. And for me, my reasoning was I think they do have a pretty good spot in the parade.
They got really good choreography.
They do have really good choreography. I think they really have a good theme. I actually like the theme. But again, for me, so many good shows this year, a very tight number of clubs. I was really just going down the line, and it was kind of like, damn, Aveneurs are – I got to slot them in here somewhere. I don't think they're last. I don't know if I would put them higher. But again, it was really hard to pick the last 3 because everybody was pretty good.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that, by the way, because we have to be even keel, right? Like, oh, everybody was so good.
No, they really were.
Yeah, they really.
Yeah.
It was very tough. I actually took longer, as I just said, to pick the bottom 3 than I did to pick the front 4.
Yeah.
You know, and it was because I kind of was like, man, I don't know if they really are. I don't want to say weak enough, but not good enough to come higher than it was really hard. So I kind of had to just stick them in there. Is what it was, you know. Not a knock to them again, as it wasn't to Cleavemore, but that's just kind of where they wound up for me. What about you? Number 9.
I had the Jokers, and I really liked them last year. I feel like their show this year was more dramatic, a little less fun than last year. I did like it when I saw it a couple nights before the run through. With the run through, I don't know what happened in those couple days, but for me, it got a little boring. And I hate to say that because I really like the Jokers. I usually like what they do. And I didn't even hate what they did this year. And I love the theme for them. But I just think competition wise, I couldn't see them edging out anyone else from what I saw.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that too. I did. You know what was funny about the Jokers? We were talking about this. I loved their reindeer prop that they had. And we were up in New York the other day to see Back to the Future on Broadway. And we must have saw those
reindeer
decorative
decorations.
reindeer. Like I never saw them before in my life, and I think I've seen them like 3 or 4 times since.
They are nice.
They're
right next
really
to
nice.
each other. I've been staring
Really
at them
cool.
all week.
But all right, so moving on to number 8. What do you got? Number 8.
That's where I jumped in with the Jokers, and for me, I feel like they took a step back a little bit, and they legitimately have the worst spot in the parade because it is all the big boys, and then they slide in there. And
Right.
they're a little smaller, but they're the Jokers, and you don't know. They're going to have some surprises and stuff. But just from what I saw the other night, I have them, and I don't want to, but I have them in the 8 spot.
So I actually have the Jokers in the 8 spot too. So we've been the same, the bottom 3. Now I think the reason is I love the theme. They didn't, and this is no fault to them. Again, remember, we're just basing it off of what we saw in the run through. They didn't have a lot of stuff completed just yet the night of the run through. So I think that maybe there's a chance that I was kind of tainted by that a little bit. I'm looking at unfinished props, and then another club comes up and they have all their stuff painted, and you kind of get blinded by that a
It
little
does
bit.
make it tough.
So I do think that there was a factor of that. Love the theme. Thought the Yeti looked great.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that their suits are probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that is probably an addition to it as well. You know, might change my mind once I see it Wednesday, but again, just based on what I saw at the run through, I didn't really have any other choice. That's kind of where I just like felt like I had to slot them.
And
in.
also they have well, just about everybody has screen content, and
Their screen content like looked really nice when I
Yeah.
saw it a couple nights ago.
I've seen nobody's screen content, so that makes a huge
It
difference.
does.
Where it could just
Yeah.
take all this crumpled up and throw it away.
Yeah, I can say we were sitting out front waiting to start rehearsal. They were finishing, and they had the screen content on, and it's a very like immersive world that they made.
Good.
It kind of makes it feel like the stage goes way back
That's
because
cool.
of how they did their content with the mountains. And I won't give too much away, but it does look really cool. And I was kind of trying to remember what it looked like while I was watching them not have it on at the run through, but again, it's just hard. You're looking at a
tough.
black wall,
Yep.
and you're looking at unfinished props, and you kind of just really have drill and music to go off of, and
Yeah.
because of that, I kind of think that's just where they got stuck for me. But 8,
I had the Avenuers, so far, you know, we're kind of all similar, but they looked better than last year, in my opinion. I love Bayou Voodoo themes and their choreography. They were kicking it out,
It's amazing.
and I don't know if it's because I know a decent amount of people from Purple Magic went over, so they had a lot of trained dancers. So I don't know if it's because they're boosting their membership with those guys, or what. But they looked pretty good, and we're actually pretty close to them in our staging area backstage, and their props look really beautiful.
I haven't looked
so-
at them yet.
I liked them just a bit more than the Jokers. But honestly, when I was making my ranking, I had the Avenuers and Jokers tied for a little bit because I don't think it's impossible for someone to tie again this year.
no, I don't either. They do always have a great artist though.
Yeah.
Avenuers.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've been using the same. I don't know if you know.
I don't know. No, I
But
don't.
their props always look really good. I'm always impressed by the way that their artwork is done. But all right, the final one before we take a little quick interlude here. But we're moving up to the 7th slot.
Now,
Billy, what do you
this
got?
was a tough one for me because
Yeah.
I loved. I don't like the theme, but I loved their show.
I know where you're
Okay.
going.
Satin Slipper.
Oh.
They entertained
Never
me from beginning to end, and they looked like they were having so much fun. But I just can't get out of my head that they're clowns, and clowns never pop for brigades.
Yeah, you are right. It seems to have been a tough theme.
Yeah.
For
It's very tough for the brigades.
which it really isn't done all that much in the
Mhm.
brigades, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, a judge might see that and go, wasn't expecting.
and
to see
they
that.
play clowns from beginning to the end.
They did.
Even
Yeah.
practicing the smiling and the hands and stuff, they were really, really good.
Yeah. Now, I can see why that was kind of tough for you to
Yeah.
slot them in there. So I hopefully I don't get shot for this one, but I have the Downtowners at 7.
Really?
Yeah. I try to be even. It doesn't matter who I know or what I'm associated with. I just try to watch everything like I'm a judge. And as a creative person, like professionally and stuff, it's somewhat easy for me to do that. I turn it off and I just watch as if I was a judge. And for me, it's a little dark in certain spots. The opening is a little ominous for me. I don't. It took a little bit for me to get into it. A
Okay.
little bit longer than it took for me to get into the other clubs that I have placed ahead of the
Trying to suck
Downtowners.
all this in.
Yeah, and so that's why seeing it against other clubs again, it was still a hard decision
Yeah.
because I don't think any of the shows were bad, but for me, that's personally where I think they fit for me,
Mhm.
based on what I have ahead of it.
Gotcha.
I have Crown at 7. To me, I mean, their choreography always looks nice, but the show didn't grab me like the others did. Kind of like what you were saying. Their props look beautiful. That they really did what they had out anyway. Looked really nice. You can't go wrong with a strong cultural theme either. I'm just not a fan of India themes, and I think that's where you were going, because I know you're kind of similar in that. But
Yep.
it just kind of wasn't grabbing me. It seemed kind of run of the mill in my opinion, but that's also without suits, without everything else. And I just had to put them there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. So that's our 10 to 7. You review it. It's up on the screen. Take a look at it. But while you're doing that and taking that all in, we're going to take a quick break because, Hal, you sat
Yeah,
and you talked
so
with someone at the convention center.
yeah, I sat with Denine's son. Denine's a member of the Downtowners. Her son Sal's also a member of the Downtowners. It's actually his second year. Billy, you know, his brother who's in the Stars. So what a
Great
great
kid.
way to connect our two clubs. But anyway, we can hear what Sal had to say about his experience and, you know, his first run through.
All right, take a look.
Hey Sal, so thank you for coming here. We just finished drill with the Downtowners. How's it like for your second year up?
Pretty good. When I first came, I was pretty scared, but now I'm confident. I'm not trying to be cocky, but we have a good chance of winning. Our drill is good, and we're the Downtowners, so we're gonna win.
So you're dancing alongside your mom, you're in competition with your brother. How's that feel?
Pretty good. It's funny because I was supposed to go with my brother, but my mom wanted to go to the Downtowners. She wanted to have fun, meet new people, because a lot of our relatives went here. So we want to have fun, and I don't really have a lot to say about that, but our brother, he's our competition.
Now you did dance as well, so how do you feel like that helps you out here?
Oh, definitely. That helps me a lot because I've been doing that this is my third year doing dance, second year doing competition there. So it helps me get ready for everything, know what to do, and I'm ready for everything.
Now, are you ready for tonight's run through?
Yes, I'm really not nervous, but I'm really happy that we all get to do this together.
So do you have any other things you want to say before we wrap this up?
Not a lot, but just keep working, work hard. Your dreams can be true when you're older, and that's it.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thanks, Sal.
Oh, that looked fun sitting down with Sal. He's like a little old man.
Full of energy all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah, I know.
All of the time.
He is, and he's so like well spoken. Deneen was so funny. She was like, "Make sure you fix your hair. Make sure you don't chew gum." He's like, "Mom, I know."
And then when he was done, she was like, "Did you answer politely? Did you make sure everything?" It was
He's a
funny.
mom.
But he was like, he's I don't know, I forget how old he is. Like, what is he, like
He's like
9,
10,
10,
I
something
think,
like
yeah.
that. It's literally like talking to like
He's
a
10 years old.
yeah.
He's so well put
He's
together.
like the oldest 10-year-old
I
I've
know.
ever met.
I know. It's like literally sitting there talking to like a 40-year-old man. It's funny, but
And I'll tell you what, if he's half of a hard worker as his brother, you guys are in good shape.
yeah, I
His
think he
brother
is.
just works.
And he's and as he said, he's a
Great
dancer
dancer.
too. Yeah,
Great
Yeah.
dancer.
so it's
Guess it runs in the
runs in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all performers, and you know that's how they are. So it was fun sitting and talking to him. But now we're moving into the more of the middle ground territory. We're moving up and predicting our 6th to 4th now. So we're going to go 6, 5, 4, and we'll start with 6. Billy, what do you got?
6 is where I put Golden Crown. For the same thing. I thought they were very pretty. Their props were beautiful. But personally, I am not a fan of India. The Stars did it years ago when we won, and I just don't like it. I don't like India themes. I don't like the music. It's nothing against it, and I'm sure it's going to be an incredible show, but I got them at 6.
All right, so I have Golden Crown 6 as well, and it was for a similar reason. So I'm sitting in my seat in the center section, and they're setting up, and immediately I thought, man, their props
They're
look
beautiful.
awesome. Like they looked great. And they set up and they had a great look. And I thought, okay, I even like how they staged them. It's kind of building that world back. And they started into the music. I thought, like, I don't mind India theme, so I kind of liked the music. I liked what they were going. And then I think for me, as awesome as I thought their props looked, something didn't match like the quality of the prop. And I don't want to say that they weren't good. I just was like, maybe I'm just expecting something different.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, and I watched and I thought it did get a little better. Like I thought their ending was pretty good. They have good choreography and everything looked really good. And they changed the colors. They turned some things and some neat things happened. Their artwork was really good. I liked the peacock thing that they had.
Peacock
Really
was
cool.
beautiful.
But for me, I think I was kind of waiting for it to get to a place it didn't get to.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And for me, I think 6 is about like that middle of the road prize. You know, it's not the worst, it's not the best. And just based on what I saw in that and where it didn't get to for me, I was like, that's kind of where I'm stuck with putting them for me.
I had Downtowners 6, and I say that because visually, I don't even know what our screen content is, so I can't even comment on that. But and I do know what our drill is, and I do know what our suits are. But ignoring that, I do like our music. I think our drill was really great, but visually, the first thing, seeing the stage, it just didn't connect for me. And I worry that the judges are going to feel similar. I hope not. But I feel like that being your first impression, it just needs to make sense. And it may with the suits all together, because I think that tells a lot of the story as well. But without it, just in the run through alone, I think 6 is just where I had to put us.
You sound like you kind of had a similar thought with the Downtowners as the both of us had with Crown. Like you were almost kind of waiting for it to get to a spot that it didn't really get to, you know. And again, it is hard to be biased when you know everything about the show. You know what I mean? When you try to turn that little part of your brain off.
You've been doing it for months, and you're like, oh, now I have to kind of toss it out.
The problem that I ran in with, and you might say the same when we get to where the stars are placed, that like I'm watching something and I'm trying to watch it like I watched other clubs, like I said about the Jokers, right? The screen content wasn't on and the props weren't finished, and I don't know what it looks like, so I'm like, that's affecting my choice. But when you watch the Downtowners, you know, and we know everything and something's not done or something's not there, and you're like, but it's going to look like this. I'm like, nah, but if I didn't know that,
I had the same problem.
How would I judge it, right? So that's kind of how I had to look at it. But now we're moving into the upper half, right? Out of 10 clubs, we're hitting 5. So that's kind of like getting into the territory where you start to want to be. So Billy, number 5, what do you got?
I'm going with the Spartans. They reminded me a lot of the Vikings of the past. So much energy. There was so much. There's movement everywhere, and I don't know what their suits look like. I hope they're really colorful. I vision them being very colorful, but I think they're just missing just that one thing that drops them, just that that little bit up with the big boys per se, but they are so energetic, and thank God my drill looks absolutely nothing like that.
So I think you must have read my mind, because again, I also have the Spartans. So we've been very similar for the most part up to this. And this is why I have them 5th. Entirely based on their drill. It was great.
It's phenomenal.
I thought their staging was great. I thought the drill was good. I thought the choreography within the drill was good. But why I don't have them higher was because, again, just based on the run through, I don't really know what their show is.
Right.
Like I couldn't, if you didn't tell me what their theme was based on
the same thing,
what I saw, what props they had, and the music that I heard, what they were doing, I would have thought maybe Aztec tribal or something like that. And maybe that is what they're doing, and it ties in and everything works together. Yeah. But in my mind, I thought like Garden, right, was what they submitted, or at least that was terminology connected to their theme. And I watched and I thought, wow, their drill is amazing, but I'm not sure what their theme is.
Right.
But their drill is, I mean, they're putting on a heck of a show drill wise. So I had to kind of sacrifice putting them higher for that one reason. But I do have to say, Dana Thiel doing their choreography, and I'm sure maybe her daughters also helped out. I don't want to leave them out if they did, but man, awesome. They probably maybe blew me away the most out of anybody drilling. I thought they were phenomenal. Yep.
I actually had them 5 as well. And similarly, the theme that they presented during the walkthrough was definitely not what I thought that they were going to do. I was thinking, because they have such a high female presence, that they were going to take that garden thing and make it more like artistic and maybe, more dancey in that regard. But their drill and choreography did also blow me away. The energy that they had, the colors you can tell that they're going to have are going to really pop. But it started to, I don't know if it was just the music, but it started to get a little repetitive to me. And I think that's where I just didn't climax. So and maybe that's all visual and it's going to happen. But from what I saw at the walkthrough, it just didn't hit that peak moment where I was like, wow, aside from their drill. And sometimes just drill isn't enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. True.
And you know what? You don't. Again, we don't know what else they have. Their costumes could be absolutely out of this world.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they score that well in costume, that could easily.
And again, screen content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very talented the way they use their screen.
I always say, like, if you can handle the things that are 100% within your control the best you can, you're putting yourself in a good position to do well.
Yeah.
And you can drill is 100% in in-house. Like, you can work with the choreographer. You can say, we want to blow people away. We want to move. We want to do this.
Yeah.
And I think everything that they could possibly handle, they've done well. Suits are a little bit out of your hands. You know, you kind of, based on budget and based on what costumer you go to. But if they have a great costume, if the rest of the props that we haven't seen yet are as good as equal to their drill, they could be in the top 2, I think, for sure. But moving on to number 4, now we're really getting up there.
See, now this is where it started getting really, really hard for me, because of my top 4, any one of them could pop first, in my opinion. But I put the Sats there only because the theme is a little off the wall for me. Now, and again, we did see their screen content, and I understand they got a lot of gimmicks going on that they did not use. So just based off of what I saw, they came at you hard, and they were the one club that had me bouncing as I was watching them. I was really enjoying it until that one part hit that I was not a fan of. But then they come right back in your face with the finale, and it could pop a 1 or it could pop a 4, in my opinion.
So my 4th pick, I'm actually excited to say this one, is Satin Slipper. And I was actually, I think out overall, top to bottom, I was the most impressed with Satin Slipper. And I think it was because of their theme being clowns. I automatically think, for a brigade, that's a little bit of a weird choice. And then when I saw what they did, I went, man, that I was not entertained. I was not expecting that. And their ending was phenomenal. I thought the whole end of their show with the hand props and the different levels that they used was awesome. I think they played the theme perfect from beginning to end. I never questioned what they were. I think sometimes when people do clowns, you can say, well, is this like a carnival theme that there's clowns in, or is this a circus theme that there's clowns in? I think this was a clowns.
Yeah.
It never didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
It was goofy, but not in a bad way. As long as they can control drill wise, that organized chaos feeling.
And their drill was good too.
It was.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So I think as long as they do what they did at the run through or better than that, they could definitely be in the top 4 or higher. And to be honest with you, I think out of any club, the last however many years, I think Satin Slipper gets a little screwed sometimes. They seem to always get a bad spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes they have great suits and a pretty good show, and they still like get 5 or 6 or whatever. So I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe they tried something different and just kind of said, whatever, we're just going to have fun. And sometimes those are the years that you wind up doing well, when you're just like, you know what, whatever, we're just going to go out and have a good time. We're going to see what happens. And that energy and that attitude sometimes is what brings a really good prize, at least in my experience. So good luck to them. Hopefully they do as good as they did at the run through, because I really enjoyed it, and I think that could be their year to do really well.
I had them as 4 as well, actually. And the energy that they have, I mean, even from the little sound effects, you can tell kind of what they're going to be doing. And I don't know, maybe that's just because they gave more away in their music. I can kind of piece the show a bit more together. But they seemed like they were really having fun. You could tell they're going to be gimmicky and goofy. Like you said, I kind of worry sometimes because you can be goofy and sloppy. So hopefully their drill with their suits on remains as clean as they need to be. But I think their colors are going to be fun. I'm really excited. They always put on a beautiful show. Sometimes I just feel like they miss the show element, but I think they got it this year.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I do think that clown suits have the potential to be very nice. Because you can really do a lot of gimmick things with them. And the judges nowadays seem to like all of that gimmick motif tie-in kind of things to your suits, what you can put on the shoulders and the hats and all that.
They were probably my most entertaining 4 minutes that I watched up there.
Yeah, top to bottom.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And you might be sitting here thinking, after hearing us talk about all these themes, that you really want to go out and see this show. Well, business agent of the Fancy Brigade Association, Anthony Stagliano, he sent us a video in case you are interested in picking up tickets, how to do that. Take a look.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Anthony Stagliano. I'm the business agent for the Fancy Brigade Association. The Fancy Brigade Fest and Finale is coming up on January 1st, 2025, and there's various ways that you can get your tickets. Let me first start by telling you that you can get your tickets on ticketleap.com. That is our online portal. So if you go to ticketleap.com/Fancy Brigade Association or Numerous Fest and Finale, you should be able to search it directly through that. We have 2 shows, our 11:30 show and our 5 p.m. show. There are very minimal tickets left, but they are still selling. We will be selling tickets all the way up until New Year's Day. On January 1st, the box office will open where you can get tickets in person at the 12th Street entrance on the Pennsylvania Convention Center. If you go into the lobby doors, you'll see the box office. You can purchase the tickets right there. Tickets are $40, and again, they are first come, first served, limited on availability for each show. The third thing is if you are interested in getting tickets ahead of time, you can also contact us through the Fancy Brigade Association social media portals. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. We hope to see you at the Pennsylvania Convention Center.
All right, thanks, Anthony. So hopefully, if you don't have tickets yet, you're able to get them because we'd love to see you down at the Convention Center and along Broad Street. Maybe you can pick up tickets for both shows and then pop back inside and see the Judge version.
And we'll actually, at least Mike and I, we actually have 2 tickets to the 5 o'clock show. So once we're out on Broad Street in our musical attire, I won't give anything away, but you'll find us. We'll be handing out 2 tickets to the 5 o'clock show. So make sure you stay tuned. You come out on the street, you watch the string bands first, you stay around for the fancies, and hopefully you check us out at 5 o'clock.
Yep. So 2 lucky people, hopefully somewhere along the parade route, will wind up with tickets to 5 p.m. show if they so desire. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be fun. So now we're really in the
top 3,
thick of it, the top 3, which is where you want to be.
Yep.
This is out of when there's 10 clubs, it's a small, tight group. 3rd, 2nd, 1st, that's really
Where you get wood.
where you really want to be. Yeah. So let's start with number 3. Billy, what do you got?
This is where I put the Downtowners. They were so different, and I was so curious just to sit down and watch what you guys are going to do. I mean, all year since you announced your theme, I've been trying to figure it out. And Aussie, I thought, put on an incredible show the other night. I can't imagine how good he's going to be on New Year's Day. And that whole artsy thing, I mean, the guys sitting in them boxes, you never know.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I actually loved it more than you guys do, apparently, but I loved it.
There you go. All right. Well, hey.
I think it's also fresh eyes. Like sometimes you get so in the weeds, it's hard to snap back. But
yeah, I was just going to say before Haley, like, I think that's the only one that we were really different on.
Yeah.
Other than that, we were pretty on. But for me, I have the Stars at number 3. My top 3 was pretty hard because I think, kind of like what you said, anybody in my top 3, maybe 4, could win.
Absolutely.
And it was just like, oh man, I don't know. So I really had to hone it in and get really, really nitpicky about what I thought, to kind of differentiate. And it was and it was funny. I texted you right afterwards, giving my opinions, and you texted me back your thoughts, and your thoughts, I won't say what it is, was actually the reason that I put you 3rd, because I was already thinking that. There was just some things that were little off.
Yeah.
A couple timing things had to be worked on a little bit, which obviously you can easily take care of before the parade day, right? But just again, based on the run through night, that's what I saw, and I was like, man, because I have to be so nitpicky with this top 3 being so difficult, like I got to use that as my reasoning to slot them at number 3. But I love the theme. I had just picked for first all year long. I still think it's something that is easily attainable for you guys, and I still think it's a very high possibility that's going to happen. But that's where I had to stick is after the run through. So
I had the Sats 3, and they're one I watched their walkthrough video so many times because I love their opening and their ending. The middle, not drill or choreography wise, and their music I loved, but they did slow down a little bit in the middle, and maybe that's because they have something that they're not showing, who knows. But I thought that they were so sharp, and it seems like the type of magic that I was hoping it would be, very like sleight of hand, white rabbit out of a hat type of thing. So I'm super excited to see them with their suits. I feel like with magic suits, it could go bad, but I feel like they're going to be good. And I'm hoping they are because I usually like what they do. But I had to put them 3rd because the other 2 that I have, something about them just really put them over the edge for me.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Makes sense.
I'm glad that it was that kind of magic too, because I thought right away back to like the Stars. You did a like voodoo and gypsies,
like black magic.
I've also thought magic could be wizardy. And I'm like, I don't know. We've seen a lot of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe it is going to be magician-y, and that's exactly what it was. And I was kind of happy to see that.
And their choreography, they are on point. Like they're
so
just
good.
watching their hands like move all together, I was like, wow, that's hard to top.
So let's move into second prize. Now, what do you got? Number 2.
I'm going with the Stars. Only because I don't want to be an asshole. It's old school. It's very pretty. We watched our dress rehearsal the other day, and I was amazed. I mean, I thought the suits were pretty, and then when you put them all together, it could win, but so I had to slide them in at the 2 spot. Again, I'm looking at it through eyes that's seen it. I know what's going to happen, and there is some things that I still don't know that are going to happen.
Right.
But it's going to be there. It's cool. It's good enough.
So my number 2 is actually the Sats. I was so back and forth in making my notes between the Stars and the Sats. I had a flip flop probably 10 times, and the reason that I wound up with the Sats in second was actually for 2 reasons. Their opening I really liked because I was blown away with the illusions that they did. I mean, I love magic. I love magic shows, so I don't know if that's why, but I just loved how they pulled the people out of nowhere, and I was like, wow, I just thought that was so cool. So I was sucked in from the very beginning. Probably one of, if not the only club, or the top club anyway, that I have to say that drew me in right from the start. I do agree that from what we saw, the middle was a little slow.
Yeah.
I don't know what they have going on.
Exactly.
We didn't see everything, so I don't know. But that, for me, knocked it down a peg, right?
Exactly what happened with me.
Their ending was so good.
Right.
Just choreography alone and music that I thought, well, I mean, that for me was good enough to keep them in the second spot. That one little slow spot, like again, I said for the top 3, I had to be really nitpicky.
Right.
Was enough to kind of knock them down a peg. But man, I really thought their show was great. I think their props look awesome. Their artwork is maybe second to none, really. Their artists and their designs. It looks so clean and crisp. They have decks of cards, like playing cards, it looks real life. It looks awesome. So I do think they were entertaining, and I am really curious to see what was in that spot, or what winds up to be in that spot that I thought was a little bit slow.
I feel like it can make or break.
Yeah, because maybe we're completely wrong, and there's like something that's going to blow you away there.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe that's why it's slow. Maybe they didn't want to reveal it before New Year's Day. But so for now, number 2 for the Sats. So what do you got, number 2?
I have the Stars. For me, I don't even question their suits. I feel like it's going to be beautiful. The Stars always have an element of pageantry that is consistent. And I think you saw it last year. I think it's going to be very similar this year with a very like traditional ethnic theme. The music I loved. I think I liked it even more than last year. And I really did like last year a lot. And you can tell, I mean, they didn't put everything out either. So I'm excited to see what gets filled in. The only thing with the Stars, I say this every year, is there's just so many of them, and they build beautiful and they build big. So that just has to get pulled off. But I think otherwise, Charlie's performance was awesome. I think he is one of the top captains for sure, performance-wise. He steps right in and just drills, and he knows exactly where he's going to be. I think his suit's going to look beautiful as well, like it did last year. But there's just something missing that I didn't get to see yet, so we'll see. But I have them at 2.
All right, so now moving into our number 1 spot. And again, just to remind everybody, this is based on the run-through. So music, production, drill, what we were able to see of the props, suits not being a factor, was what kind of culminated to all of our decisions. And moving into number 1, I think probably if you're paying attention, you're going to know what our number 1 spot is. But
I'm going with SPV. I'm going with the Vikings. I mean, my opinion is you're the champs until you're not the champs. You're the champs until somebody beats you, and nobody's beat them in 2 years. And they have so much. I mean, everybody up here has energy, but they have so much positive energy, and you just feel it. Each group coming out, they're having fun. They're all smiling. They're really kicking it. They really were, and that they got some Viking stuff in there.
Yep.
And yes, I got them sitting in 1 spot.
So I also have the Vikings in the 1 spot. As soon as they were done at the run through, I was with my dad and Haley, and I think we all looked at each other and we're like, that's going to be your number 1 right there. I didn't even need
4th.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even need to see anything else of their show. as is unfinished props,
Yeah.
no screens. I was like, they're absolutely.
And you know
gonna
their
win.
screens are going to be pointing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're the ending of their show, drill wise, with the movement and the choreography, the togetherness of everybody in sync.
Yeah.
Was
And Louis with that
incredible.
stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a stick.
He's going to put on a show.
Yeah, it was just awesome, top to bottom. And I don't like those kind of themes, but trying to be unbiased on theme choice, I mean, what they put together, I actually have to say, didn't really remind me too much of the Vikings. Like they usually do something
Music
kind
and
of
all was different.
weird. I don't want to say weird, but like kind of in that artsy realm where
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be honest with you, I don't really like what they do because that's why I guess that's why usually I like the Stars a lot because they're a little bit more traditional.
Yeah.
But they didn't seem that way this year.
Yeah.
They had for the most part, all painted hard props. It wasn't a lot of screen stuff. It wasn't a lot of super artistic, weird, again, I don't know what other word to put on it, but a little bit odd, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. It was very different for the Vikings, and maybe that's why I connected with it more. But I was blown away with it, and I thought immediately they're going to win. So that was my pick.
Yeah, I have the same. I think for them, they always use hand props and they always nail it. I won't say their cleanliness in the drill is always there, in my opinion, but this year I feel like it was. They look really well drilled together. Their props are moving together, like their hand props, like the little batons that they have. You can just tell that there's that element there that I feel similar. I don't always love what they do. I appreciate what they do because for whatever reason they do it and it works. But they didn't look like themselves now that they're so traditional again with that hard stuff. You can never really predict where they're going to go. But from what I saw, they looked really good. And I think seeing them do the gimmicks that they're going to need to do for this type of theme, you can tell it's going to be there.
Yeah.
And their drill, they just really kicked it out.
Yeah.
Now, first reactions, because we didn't actually have this plan. If you had to pick first prize captain, who would it be?
Louis' performance was unbelievable. And I know what Charlie's got going on, but I'm going to go Charlie. Not to be biased, but I'm going to go with Charlie.
So was I. I actually said that the night of the run through. I think he presents well. He was building the show well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's stuff we haven't seen.
Yeah, they've worked with him and
Yeah.
they put him in the right position. And also everybody knows where he's going to be.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
So,
He never
yeah.
looked like he was in the way.
No, and he worked hard all year. He didn't stand and watch drills or blow whistles. He worked
Right.
every single
You can tell. You can
Yeah.
tell. So Charlie was my pick as well.
I had him too, actually. And it's no slight to any other captain. He looks like he's a part of the show and he's really orchestrating the show, but not taking away from it either.
Right.
And I think when you're a performing captain, you need to have that balance where you're not the only show, which I feel like sometimes other clubs do. And it's a shame because it's still a part of the club, but I feel like he nails it. And like I said, he just steps in and he drills and he knows his drill and it looks really good from my perspective.
Well, there you go. There's all of our picks, 1 to 10, 10 to 1. Our captain's picks, and again, I think all the shows were really good.
They're amazing.
If this didn't whet your appetite to maybe try to grab a ticket and get out there and see the shows in their full state with the props and everything, because you can see them out on Broad Street, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
you definitely have to get in there and see it in the convention center if you can. It was really a great show, and we didn't even see everything, so I can only
I'm excited
imagine
for
what it's going to be like Wednesday.
It's going to be a great show. It
Yeah,
really is.
it really is. I think you said before in one of the other episodes, it seems like every year has been the best one.
It's getting better and better.
But it really is. I think this one is tight.
Yeah.
It really is. I think you'll see in the point differential that it's probably not going to be that big of a spread. I have a prediction that this one's going to be very close to each other. So, we'll see what happens. But it's been a pleasure being with you guys all 2024 so long. This was the last one of the year. So hopefully, we'll be back after New Year's and it's going to be a good time. So happy New Year,
Happy
Bill.
New Year,
good luck
guys.
to you
Good luck.
Good luck. Wow.
All right. Well,
Way to
we'll see you
share.
after New Year's for another one. Take care.
See ya.